Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This time we're going to be doing the Persuader, and I'm going to show you basically what I came up with to defeat T5. I mean, it's not awesome. It's not a Scourge. So, I mean, it's a little close to what I'm running with the Scourge, but it's a little bit more expensive and it's not as good. So this is what you need bare minimum. So you need at least 16 limb damage, sniper mod. You need the improvement. You don't need the silencer device, but it's a good extra mod to have. It's probably the only one that I would recommend putting on, if any of them, because the rest of them, like vibration dampening, doesn't seem to do anything at this range. Maybe at longer ranges, like I can't test it though here. So maybe on desert map, if you're shooting way far off into the distance, there's some drop. But I mean, I don't know. So the Persuader has, with the rifling improvement, it has an 84 range, which is still not as good as the Scourge. The Scourge is like a base of 90, I think. So it's 90. That is with rifling improvement though. So it is less, but I don't know if that matters all that much. So on the Scourges, Scourge is so good, all I need is sniper improvement. You can run a thermal sight. It's super cheap. With the Persuader, you need this additional mod. And I would say any armor mod, like limb damage or mount helmet, rare armor, like any of that stuff on, like if they're wearing T5, like a base T5, if they're wearing defense link helmet with mount helmet, this thing will not one tap in the head. I'm pretty sure it's going to fall short. So you can't run like, and putting thermal on this in addition is like it makes it like $100,000 plus scope, and it's not worth it. At that point, build Scourges for like 30k and have your thermal Scourges. They're better anyways, but the Persuader, like, it tries to compete. This is really what the Scourge should have been. It should have been this. They should just remove the Scourge from the game, and then this would be fine, because it's a little bit balanced. Unlike the Scourge, you have to spend some money to get it decent. So just like the Scourge, you need like the 9% heated bullets. I was doing the other mod, what's it called? Bursting bullet? Not bursting bullet. Bullet recycle. Jeez. Brain fart. Yeah, I was doing that, and I just couldn't get it to perform that well. There was like some T4. You could one-tap T4s in a couple of different places. So just like the Scourge, our goal here, since this is a semi-auto rifle, is you want it to one-tap heads, and you want it to two-tap everywhere else, if possible, or as many areas as possible on a T5. Obviously, you want it to do it all on a T4 anywhere, but like, because if it won't two-tap a T4, then what is the point? Because almost this is like the base for decent players. Everybody runs at least base regular T4. So we got 59 to the chest, that'll two-tap. 67 to the arms, that'll two-tap. 61 to the legs, that'll two-tap. And the head is dead. So for T5 though, head is dead, but just barely. You may be able to slap a warhead. I mean, there's no point, because if you slap warhead on a 9% heated mag, that is going to be outrageously expensive. It's not worth it. Just to make sure that you get that kill if they have mount helmet or something. And even then, I don't know if it depends on how much mount helmet will actually reduce, because we're only like 2 damage over the threshold. So if it reduces it more than 2 damage, even warhead probably won't kill them. So mount helmet's going to be a problem for this thing, at least in this base form. So it does do it, but just barely. Chest, same thing, 50 damage. It does do it, but just barely. Arms, you're good. Legs, just barely. Once again, any kind of mod on the armor, if it's a golden T5 armor with like limb reduction, Limbs probably won't do it. Like, he may still get arms, but legs is going to be a no-go. Not that many people run golden T5s, but I'm telling you, a mod to the head, all they have to do is have a T2 defense link and mount helmet mod, and you won't be able to one-tap T5s, which almost nobody runs the T5 helmet anyways. And if they do, like, you'll see a lot of people, they'll run like defense link and gas mask, or defense link and thermal, or defense link and amplifier. But if anybody like me throws on mount helmet, it's going to take you 2 shots. Is it a big deal? Maybe not, because 2-tapping is pretty quick. This thing's got like way more recoil. You see how it jumps up so much more than the Scourge? Like, it's not a Scourge. So if you wanted to get kind of expensive, you could throw this suppressor on it, and this will get you over the edge. But I mean, this suppressor is a 44k suppressor. So this is essentially the same, although there is a little bit more limb damage. So I bought this limb damage on purpose just to see if it would do it with a 16%. It does do it with a 16%. So if you have like a 20%, you're probably fine. 16 is kind of low. I see more 20s than under 20 anyways, so if you get a 20%, you're probably good. Unless you don't want to 1-tap limb or 2-tap limbs. If you don't care to 2-tap limbs and you want the thermal scope, you could do it, but I don't know. I'd rather 2-tap the limbs than have thermal. And if you're going to run thermal, you might as well just do it on a Scourge because they're friggin' broken. But this suppressor's, it's a good suppressor. It's the one I've been using on the poles, but it's expensive. It's 44k. For that, you could build basically 2 Scourges. Just saying. But let's see what it does. Head is dead, and maybe mount helmet won't stop it. So we're at 106. I don't know how much mount helmet reduces it, but if it reduces it more than 6, then, like, I doubt it. But it could. They're still dead. Arms, yeah. Even with limb damage, I think they're probably still dead. Chest, you're still just barely over the threshold for chest. And legs, you're good. So this version does work. You get more limb damage. So this is more of an average limb damage than this. This is an underpowered limb damage. And then you got this ridiculously expensive suppressor on here that you could build 2 whole Scourges just for the price of this. So, I mean, the Scourge is just really good. Persuader, this is the second best, but I mean, you're gonna put some money into it. If you build it like this, it's around the same price as, you're gonna pay more for the scope. That's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be almost a Scourge, but you're gonna pay more for the scope. You don't necessarily need the silence device. You can just go base rifle improvement if you want. I just like the silence device on there. It's a little added, and they're not that expensive. So, and then you can do whatever grip you want. This doesn't matter. This was just on it. I'm probably gonna sell this. But you could see, like, even with the reduced recoil, like, I'm getting a 15% reduced recoil, and it's the better grip, and it still jumps really crazy. Look how high. Look at the jump between that when I rapid fire. Like, I guess if you aim for like the lower abdomen, it jumps up to like the head, but like and it jumps crazy too. Like, it's a weird jump, so oof, it's hard to hit the head on that second shot. But yeah, that's basically it, what I came up with. Now you could really overpower these. I mean, I've taken it all the way up. I put on the best mods onto this thing. We got extra head damage and everything. And I mean, you can make like a 500k 1 mil Persuader, but when it comes down to it, at best, it's gonna 1-tap heads and 2-tap everywhere else. So I started at the high tier, and I worked my way down to this to see what the cheapest version was that you could run and still do the same thing. So basically, the really expensive version will just do this better, but it will, if you just bring it down here, this is as cheap as you can go and still do 1-tap heads and 2-tap everywhere else. So there you have it. That's the Persuader. I'll see you in the next one. Later.